Imagine a world frozen in time. Giant mammoths wander across endless plains of ice and snow. Vast herds of bison graze beneath a cold, gray sky. Humans, small bands of hunter-gatherers, cling to survival on the fringes of glaciers that cover half the northern hemisphere. The air is crisp, the world quiet, and the ice slowly melting. Then, in an instant, the world burns. Something flashes across the sky, a light brighter than the sun, a roaring fireball tearing through the atmosphere. Seconds later, the heavens explode. Shockwaves ripple across continents. Forests ignite. Storms of molten glass rain down. And within days, the warmth of the world vanishes. The Ice Age, once retreating, comes roaring back. This is not myth. This is the Younger Dryas, one of the most mysterious and violent climate events in Earth's recent history. For thousands of years, the planet had been thawing, warming gently after the last great glaciation. But around 800 years ago, something went terribly wrong. Global temperatures plummeted, ice sheets stopped melting and began to expand again. Megafauna, the mammoths, mastodons, and saber-toothed cats vanished from the fossil record, and ancient human cultures from North America to the Near East suddenly collapsed. For decades, scientists struggled to explain why. Some blamed a sudden shutdown of ocean currents. Others thought massive meltwater floods disrupted the climate. But a growing number of researchers now believe something far more dramatic and terrifying took place: a cosmic impact. An object from the heavens, a comet or swarm of fragments, struck the Earth with unimaginable force. The evidence begins in the dirt beneath our feet. Across more than 50 sites around the world, scientists have discovered a thin, dark layer in the geological record, a black mat no thicker than your thumb. Within that layer lie clues that tell a story of cataclysm. Tiny spheres of molten glass, microscopic diamonds formed only under extreme pressure, platinum anomalies, rare on Earth but common in cosmic material, and a blanket of soot and charcoal, evidence of continent-wide wildfires. It's as if the planet itself was blasted by fire from the sky. The Younger Dryas boundary layer, as it's called, marks the beginning of that 1,200-year deep freeze, and it's the smoking gun of a cosmic impact. Let's go back to the world before it happened. In the waning centuries of the Ice Age, humanity was on the brink of transformation. The last glacial maximum had ended, and the climate was warming. Massive glaciers were melting, rivers swelling, and new fertile lands were emerging. In the Near East, the Natufian culture had begun building permanent settlements, a first step toward agriculture. In North America, the Clovis people hunted mammoths with finely crafted spear points, mastering a continent of abundance. And then, almost overnight, it all collapsed. The Clovis culture disappeared. The mammoths, the giant sloths, the dire wolves, gone. The Natufians abandoned their villages, forced back into nomadic life, and the global climate plunged into chaos. So what could cause such sudden global devastation? In 2007, a team of scientists proposed the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis. Their claim was bold. Around 800 years ago, fragments of a disintegrating comet struck the Earth, possibly exploding in the atmosphere in multiple places across North America, Europe, and even the Middle East. One impact site, they argued, may have been over the massive ice sheet covering what is now Canada. The heat from that explosion would have vaporized trillions of tons of ice in seconds, sending shockwaves across the planet and releasing torrents of meltwater into the oceans. That sudden flood could have disrupted the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation, the ocean conveyor belt that regulates Earth's climate. Without it, the northern hemisphere would have plunged into a deep freeze. And that's exactly what the geological record shows. Temperatures dropped by up to 10 degrees Celsius in a matter of years. It was one of the most abrupt climate changes in Earth's history. But the evidence doesn't end there. In Greenland's ice cores, those frozen time capsules of our planet's past, scientists found spikes of platinum exactly at the Younger Dryas boundary. Platinum is rare on Earth's surface, but abundant in meteorites. The pattern was global. Then came the discovery of nanodiamonds, microscopic diamonds that form only under immense heat and pressure, such as during a meteor impact or nuclear explosion. These tiny crystals have been found in that same thin black layer across multiple continents. And there's more. In a region of Greenland, scientists identified what appears to be a massive impact crater beneath the ice, over 30 kilometers wide. Hidden under more than a kilometer of frozen sheet, it's called the Hiawatha crater. Dating it has proven difficult, but if it indeed formed around the time of the Younger Dryas, it could be the scar left by the cosmic event that changed the course of human history. Skeptics argue that the evidence is circumstantial, that some of the materials could have been created by wildfires or volcanic activity. But the list of coincidences is growing shorter every year. In 2019, a team from the University of Kansas analyzed spherules, tiny glass beads formed by intense heat from multiple Younger Dryas sites. Their composition matched what's seen in known impact sites. In other words, these weren't made by ordinary fires. They were born of an inferno from the heavens. And perhaps most compelling of all, the timing. The impact appears to coincide perfectly with the extinction of Ice Age megafauna, the collapse of early human cultures, and the onset of a global deep freeze. In every story of catastrophe, there are survivors. In this one, humanity endured, and perhaps even transformed because of it. After centuries of cold and chaos, the climate eventually stabilized again. The Younger Dryas ended as abruptly as it began, and in its wake, the world was reborn. In the Fertile Crescent, agriculture took root. The Natufians returned to the land, giving rise to the first true farming societies. In a place called Göbekli Tepe, now in modern-day Turkey, people began building what may be the world's first temple, an astonishing complex of carved stone pillars arranged in precise circles. The timing is haunting. Göbekli Tepe was built almost immediately after the Younger Dryas ended, as if those who lived through the cataclysm were memorializing something they never wanted to forget. Some researchers believe the carvings at Göbekli Tepe might even encode memories of the impact itself. One pillar, known as the Vulture Stone, appears to depict constellations that align with the sky as it would have appeared around 109950 BC, the very start of the Younger Dryas. Was it an ancient warning, a cosmic remembrance, or the record of the day the heavens fell? We may never know for certain, but one thing is clear: the Younger Dryas event reshaped the destiny of humankind. It may have sparked the dawn of civilization itself. Think about it. The trauma of a global cataclysm, the sudden awareness of fragility, the need to rebuild, all could have pushed humanity to seek order, control, and permanence, to plant seeds in the earth rather than chase herds across frozen tundra, to build monuments that reach toward the stars, the same stars from which destruction once came. In the end, the story of the Younger Dryas is not just about ice and fire, but about resilience, about how a species nearly extinguished by cosmic chaos rose again, changed forever. And yet this story carries a warning. Earth has been struck before, not once, but many times. The dinosaurs learned that 66 million years ago. The Ice Age peoples learned it 13,000 years ago, and one day it will happen again. We've only recently begun to map the asteroids and comets that cross Earth's path. Some are harmless, others potentially catastrophic. But in the grand time scale of the cosmos, another impact isn't a question of if, it's a question of when. Perhaps that's why ancient people built their monuments to align with the heavens, not just to worship the stars, but to remember what fell from them. The Younger Dryas may be a distant memory, but its echoes are written in stone, in ice, and in our DNA, a reminder that the universe is not a peaceful place, and that sometimes the sky itself can fall. And when it does, the world begins again,